In today's video, we're going to present you a legendary crew formation tier list. My intergalactic friends, my name is Shinchi42. Welcome to Shinchi42 TV. If you guys find this video to be very helpful for your Infinite Galaxy success, do consider subscribing, turn your notification on for regular Infinite Galaxy content. And if you haven't created a YouTube account yet, do make sure to create one so you can click subscribe, turn your notification on, and never miss out on new informations that we are going to provide here in this channel. So today, I present you the crew tier list that I have made for Infinite Galaxy. We're going to dive down in here and talk about why each specific crew member are designated in the S tier, which is the best out of the best, and something that you must have, an A tier, B tier, and there's no really C or D. I kind of just made it into like, 3 tiers in here. So there's 3 levels. And we're going to dive down on each crew and why they are good and why I suggest that you should definitely have certain ones and how they're going to benefit your entire setup in here. All right, my intergalactic friends, I want you guys to have a disclaimer in here. This tier list, let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think? Do you guys agree or disagree on some of the certain stuff in here? When you guys do disagree or agree on certain things, please do explain why you agree or disagree. Keep in mind that you and I, we have different strategies. We have different perspective that I respect if you guys have your own different perspective as well. And I hope you would do the same for me here, as everybody has their own opinion. This is my tier list, and this is what I think where they rank. And I'm going to explain this right now. I hope that you would definitely watch everything in here and understand before you do leave a comment whether you agree or disagree. But first, let me know, if you were to make a tier list, how would you rank it? Leave us down in the comment section below. And where does our tier list kind of range into your agreement in here? 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. All right. Make sure when you guys leave a comment, do explain why certain, crew member should be higher or lower in the tier list. Now, the tier list we have right now is an overall best, overall greatness, but we do rank higher for combat since this is a PvP game. This is a war game. So as you can see in our combat list right now, we have Yiling Ding as an S tier. The reason why we have Yiling Ding as an S tier is because she is able to buff the warship armor, warship shield, and the best thing about this, she is one of those crew members that is able to buff warship HP. Yiling Ding is absolutely an S tier for her to be able to buff every warship. There's no specific warship type. This is universal warship, whether or not it's frigates, destroyers, or it's cruisers. It will buff every single one. Now, as we get started in here as well, I want you guys to understand buffing warship is better than buffing flagship. When I first started into the game, I was thinking this big scenario of like, oh, if I buff my flagship, I would definitely be more dominating with all the process of war throughout the game, and getting wrecked as well because I was using everything for flagship and defeating higher level pirates. I realized that me buffing up flagship wasn't really the best in the game. Rather, buffing your warship is actually better. I was able to defeat higher level pirates, and I was able to perform better in the PvP scenario and as well as PvE. If you don't know what PvP or PvE means, PvP is fighting other players. PvE is fighting the environment, which is like space pirates, relics, gates, and strongholds, those kind of stuff. So anything that is event related is PvE. And today we're not really talking about captains. So when captains is totally going to be a different tier list. This is only for crew formation tier list. Next thing that we're going to talk about here in the crew formation list is Rubbia von Hessen. She's able to provide warship shield. Not the best, honestly. I prefer armor and I prefer HP. But she then has armor in here as a secondary. And again, this is somewhat similar to Yiling Ding. But you can see that Yiling Ding, though, provides armor and shield and the warship HP. Honestly, Yiling Ding would be an S+ tier in my opinion. But to make it simple, we just put Rubbia von Hessen with the same lineup with Yiling Ding. I'd like to make things a little bit more simple than make it a lot complicated. You can see in here armor 34% looking at Yiling Ding. Armor at 19%. This is already rank 10, and Rubbia is almost rank 10. This is right now rank 9. Let's go into the next tier in here. It will be A tier. We'll be looking into Molly Mayer. With Molly Mayer, she's able to provide warship HP, which is amazing as well. And she will be able to provide top speed building for warship building speed. Now, the only reason why I put her up here in the A tier, not as a B tier, is because the warship HP is really, really good. Now, if this was shield, I would say it's a little bit, not really that great. Or if it's a flagship buff, whether it's HP, attack, or defense, I would probably rank it lower because warship HP is higher than flagship buff in my perspective. Warship HP 22.5%. Why wasn't she in S tier? The reason why, when we really compare into like Yiling Ding in here, as you can see, 32.5% for both already, for armor and shield, and 32.5% for HP. I mean, you're getting a lot in Yiling Ding in comparison to Molly Mayer. Now, if you look into warship shield here for Rubbia von Hessen, you get 64.9 for the warship shield and 65% for warship armor. Definitely both are so much better than Molly Mayer. Now, I feel like there should be like a character in here, and it shows like, it's weird. I don't know why I'm not seeing the character in here. Guys, in your screen, can you guys actually see the character? Because for mine, it's just blank. Now, another thing that you need to understand in here, combat and tech are pretty good. They're both going to serve you well in PvP and PvE scenario. I would highly suggest when you're working on crew members, when you're working on the crew stats, we've talked about this in the previous video. If you haven't seen it yet, check the descriptions. We have links there to help you to navigate into some of the good videos. Combat and tech is really important for PvP scenario. The command is okay. Logistic is more for mining. So the next crew that we're going to talk about is Paul Malthus. So Paul Malthus is a good crew as well. This is going to give you warship HP. All right. Now, one thing that you guys have to understand when we're looking at the tier list, it's not in the synchrony. All right. It's not synchronized to where like, okay, since Yiling Ding is #1 first on the S tier, you should work on her. It doesn't matter. These are going to be like S tier or A tier. They're all on the same level, whether or not you invest first, whoever you want. But in my case, if I will start again, if I see Yiling Ding, I will definitely go and get Yiling Ding right away. So here's the thing, warship HP, a really good buff. Now, definitely this is an A tier because giving that warship HP is huge. Same with like Molly Mayer, warship HP, 32.5% for Molly. Paul Malthus, 32.5 again. Same thing with Molly. Now, why this is an A tier, not an S tier, is because it's going to be more specific. This time it's going to be frigate armor. So it's focused on frigates only. So if you're not running frigates, you're not going to get benefit. Only you will get benefit is for warship HP. So for my setup in here, I work on frigates and as well as destroyers. So Paul Malthus is something that is really good for my setup because when I run my frigates, I'll have, frigates armor, and also they'll have HP. And then when I run my destroyer will benefit with the warship HP as well. So the next thing that we're going to talk about in here is going to be Bruno. Now, Bruno is really good as well. This is going to be warship attack. So it's the first time that we're seeing warship attack buff. When we look at the other ones, it's armor, it's shield, it's HP. Bruno, if you want a fighting power, Bruno is the guy. And we rank it a little bit lower here, not S tier again. It's only going to give you a max of 21.7% for Bruno. But that is pure damage there from warship. Whether if it's frigates, destroyer, or cruisers, you're getting that benefit. But then it's also going to provide missile weapon as well at 65% of the max level. Missiles can break shield. But me, for my case, my opinion, I'm not a huge fan of the missile weapon types. I prefer kinetic. I prefer laser, especially really good in kinetic. Kinetic has a lower cooldown. I prefer laser because it breaks armor. From my understanding, right, when I talk about in the previous video, armor ghosts and prevents or mitigates, I guess the right word, mitigates damages for HP and as well as shield. So buffing up your armor practically kind of buffing up your shield as well. So missile weapon attack, yes, it's good for shields, but in my case, I would prefer working on other weapon types, and so I would really work on Bruno. For my case, I don't have a setup that runs warships for missiles or flagship that runs missiles. I'm more of a kinetic and laser setup, but I like the fact that he is able to provide the warship attack, which allows me to have a fighting capability to damage my enemies. So this is why Bruno is a B tier. Honestly, if I would be less generous, I would lower his rank just because of the missile weapon type. Now, let's take a look into the B tier. This is the last tier that we're going to talk about. I kind of hate to say this, but Lara, she is the first crew that I've got, and I've grown to love her. She is the highest ranking crew. As you can see, this is a rank 11. But I slowly realized throughout the time that I've been playing Infinite Galaxy that Lara is not the best crew when it comes to PvP. Lara is able to buff up flagship. All right. I mean, it's great. The flagship is getting buff, high damage. But in the sense of fighting in here, your warship is more than your flagship. So Lara, I'm so sad, but I am going to, rank her low here in B tier. I used to, when I first started, I'm like, oh, flagship is so good. Lara, definitely S tier. With the changes that we've learned, unfortunately, Lara is not an S tier in my case anymore. And then, looking at her second skill for PvP fighting, it's not really going to benefit you a lot. It does have a research speed of 28%, max in 43.3%. But honestly, with this game, what I've noticed compared to other games that we've played, the construction speed and the research speed isn't really that long. I've played games where it would take 50, 60, 70 days or 100 days to do one research. This in here is not even like that. Well, I haven't seen it that way, but I don't expect to see it because of what we are seeing with the research. I think the game here costs more resources than days on speed ups itself. So one thing that I like about Lara, why I still use her as a crew member, is because she is able to provide really, really good stats in here. Secondary combat, and I increase the leadership through my crew points. The next thing that we have here is Bolt. Again, Bolt is not a PvP crew. This is going to be, for repair. Ship needs repair limit bonus. Not really a huge thing. As long as you clean up your repair bill, this isn't going to be an issue. This isn't going to be a factor. What I like about Bolt, if we're talking about mining tier list, he is definitely going to be an S tier because of the planet development for all resources output bonus. This is going to work for titanium, deuterium, nickel, and plasma. Any planets will get benefit from Bolt. So if we're talking about mining, this is really a good crew, but not for PvP, for combat that we're talking about for today's video. So if you haven't checked out our planet mining video, I highly suggest to check it out because you get a lot of information. You will be able to earn millions and millions of resources each day. Actually, it's more like millions of resources for a few hours. Greg Lee, another great crew in here, but I wouldn't put it as a fighting crew. This is more of the crew where you need, after you fight, you put Greg Lee because of his ability to improve your repair speed at 43.3% of the max level. But again, Greg Lee is a secondary crew. He has a mining ability in here. This is my setup for my second formation. All resource gather speed. So this is going to be gathering in the space, not in the planet mining. This is like the asteroids. This is where you benefit with Greg Lee. Gather speed up to 43.3%. Greg Lee being a B tier crew. Honestly, with Greg Lee and as well as Bolt, I would probably have made it lower because it's kind of like, Lara does have some benefit for fighting because of the flagship attack. but I would just make it simple and put both of these crew into the same tier. Now we've got the 2 new crews as well. In the future, when you're watching this video, this might not be new to you anymore. But we have Ashim Rich, which again, a flagship buff, not a huge thing for me. I know we've talked about, I've discussed this, stressed it enough. And then spaceport construction, again, not the best. You can find a better epic setup, which we're going to show you in a little bit in here with my current setup. Peter McConnell, another crew in here that is not really a PvP. Well, there's a case there. It can be a good PvP if you really care about the navigate speed. In my opinion, navigate speed is crucial. It's very important. I'm not so sure yet if I will really use him as a crew, because navigate speed is great if you're hunting by yourself, but if you're playing with a team, you're stacking, the navigate speed wouldn't really matter, because if you're timing everything, the best thing is to improve your warship buff instead. This is going to improve ship needs repair limit bonus. Like I said, if you're really cleaning out your repair center, you don't really need this buff anyway. Now let's take a look into the crew formation that I have right now. All right. So as you can see, I have Yiling Ding, Bruno, Rubbia, Molly, Lara, Paul, Malthus. Okay. We've talked about all these crews, right? And the reason why we didn't add some of the other crews, and like I said, some of the epic ones are really good. And I think we need to make a epic tier list as well. So the combination really is legendary and epics. As the game hasn't produced so many legendaries yet, the epics are going to be your go-to right now. In the future, there's going to be more legendaries, and of course, they're going to, overpower some of the epics in here. So we will have to replace our crew formation one day. So since I am a destroyer main and a frigate second, I have Amelia Irving, which is going to give destroyer buff in here, destroyer attack and destroyer HP. I have Dorothy Milton, which I have really no option to change. Some crew in here I have to deal with because I've already ranked them up before, and like I said, I was so hung up with flagship, and also I don't know what to replace them with. Zen Tao, flagship leadership. This is more of a command. I kind of want to steer from out of the command, but I have no choice with some of them. Laser weapon attack, Helen, really good. Like I mentioned, I'm a laser main, so laser gang here with Helen. Madeline, another great one in here. Warship HP. I would really rank Madeline at the highest tier on the epics in here, providing warship HP buff. And Huaxiang Fei, which is going to be warship armor, 38.9%. Really, really good as well. I would probably rank her in the same area where Madeline would be. This is a 19% warship HP. Not a whole lot. You see they're kind of cheaping out on the warship HP because they know it's a good one. But you see the armor is giving you a lot more percentage in here as well. So it's kind of balancing that out in there. So guys, what do you think about our video today? If you find this to be very helpful, help you to guide you to succeed into Infinite Galaxy, finding out which crew you want to invest in, do consider subscribing and turn your notification on for more Infinite Galaxy content from us. And like I said, if you guys have any opinions, concerns, do comment in the comment section below. Feel free to join our Discord. If you watch this until the end, you really got a lot of the values in here. I hope you find this video to be very helpful, honestly. And if you would like to play this game on BlueStacks or in your computer, so we have a link in the description. It is an affiliate link. So if you do click and download that, I do get a kickback. So if you do click that, of course, I earn some money. It's helping me as a content creator as I'm growing here on YouTube. So, just a little trade-off in here for me helping you guys out, giving you guys information. If you do download that, I do get some kickback. So there's that. Anyway, feel free to reach out to me on Discord. Leave a comment. Honestly, when you guys interact with us in YouTube, it's really good for our channel. Pressing like, subscribe, and leaving comment and sharing our videos. These things help us to grow in YouTube here. Anyway, my intergalactic friends, if this was helpful, let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you again next time.